Wife contacted affair partner again after giving her second chance. I'm surprising her with a divorce. Newly diagnosed nice guy here just started reading No More Mr. Nice Guy. As a part of my personal recovery from finding out my wife was cheating 5 months ago. Details don't matter here, but she ended her affair and claims to want to work on things. For me, the only reason I'm still here is because all the literature says not to make the divorce decision within the first 6 to 12 months because you'll end up regretting not giving it a chance and because you're not thinking clearly because of the high emotions, plus I've been with her my entire adult life. I just finished chapter 4, and I'm looking for things I can stop giving to her. A year ago, it would have been easy to make a huge list. With her, I was all the nice guy things, like all of them. I gave everything I possibly could to her, even to the detriment of my job, business owner. And reading the book, so far I can see that since discovering her infidelity, I pretty much stopped all of that nice guy stuff towards and have been on a slow journey to self-integration, therapy, and growth. So I'm looking to get feedback on things I may not realize I'm still giving her. Goal: become a fully integrated man for my own benefit and for my 3 kids. 7 and under, no matter the outcome with my wife. What I currently do for her family and home, all of the groceries we live in the country. My business is in town. All of the bills, finances. Wife is manic about money, so I took that away from her. Shortly after the affair came to light. 80% of the parenting. She's a stay-at-home mom. But I seem to be the only one who really enforces good or any discipline or figures out the individual styles of each kid's needs. No more back rubs or anything physical. She actually cut me off from that when she started screwing my best friend last year, made me think it was because I was being a crappy husband by working too many hours. My shop went through a huge boom at the time, and I'm the owner. So I do take her and the kids to fun places every weekend. She seems to care about these outings more than the kids do. She basically wishes she was always on vacation. The only thing I can still identify as giving is that I still compliment her looks occasionally. At 34, she is still objectively hot, even after 3 kids. Cheater or not, I still enjoy looking at her on a baseline man level. I'm not looking for sympathy. I've got friends and a therapist for that. I'm literally just asking for feedback so I can better identify nice guy things I'm still doing towards her. If she ends up showing me she can change enough, then I'll stay. If not, I don't want to repeat my nice guy act on the next one. Update 1. I think I had a revelation about my cheating wife and my own faulty intuition, so self-preservation. This regards my marriage, infidelity, and my past relationships. I'm already on the infidelity subs, so I'm not looking to discuss that aspect. Just to vent and unpack this discovery from today. My unfaithful wife, possibly, maybe low-level narc, and definitely one of my sources of CPTSD, is applying for her first full-time job in 15 years. One of our friends is pushing for them to work together. There are multiple good reasons for my wife to go for it. If we divorce, she'll need it. Currently housewife and stay-at-home mom. And if we somehow stay together, it'll mean more income and hopefully the end of hearing about how I don't make enough money. I own a business, by the way. I don't bring home 6 figures, but close to it. I had this strong negative emotional reaction to the thought of her getting this job, even though my mind is not against it. While I was going through this trigger, I realized I recognized it, but it had been almost 10 years since I felt it. Current reason to be triggered. Wife shows no initiative or drive to fix the marriage she destroyed, so I have zero faith she won't cheat again. The thought of her being out of the house every day with access to hundreds of potential affair partners is obviously concerning. And to be clear, I have never forced my wife to stay at home. I did enjoy the fact that she didn't need to work for us to have a good life. But I never discouraged her or stood in the way of her looking for a job after she graduated. It was her choice to stay at home. I now believe this was mostly from her being something of a spoiled princess her entire life. Parents covered everything, but past similar trigger. I have already worked through this a bit, but I remember feeling this fear or concern back when she was looking for a job in the field she graduated for. At the time, I didn't understand it because I was happy for her potential future. But the idea was similar, but will she do around a bunch of high-power guys every day? At this point, she had given me zero reason to think she would ever cheat. I chalked it up to having several previous relationships end in deeply painful ways, and therefore, just being insecure. However, as I progressed through my trauma therapy and realized I am something of a dark magnet, I wonder if I didn't send something off in our relationship, even then, only a couple of years in. I have come to realize, more like been forced to acknowledge, that she has never really contributed very much to the us in our relationship. I have always been the one to drive the romance and connection. And even then, only if she was in the mood to accept it. I also now know, I have a ton of codependency issues stemming from childhood crap from a narc mother. So while the current trigger is mostly understandable, given our situation, I'm trying to figure out if that past suspicion was a result of my earlier relationship wounds. It never lasts. They will always leave you. You can never trust them. Or an unacknowledged, unrecognized warning from my subconscious about my eventually unfaithful wife. Additional factor since discovering the affair, which ended a few months ago, and yes, I have no doubt it's over for sure. She has said she didn't really want to go through with marrying me. She claimed she did it because she didn't want to upset her family. She had no friends because she'd left them all back at college when she broke up with the ex. So, again, I wonder if I sensed this all along, but didn't know how to process it correctly. She never cheated until about a year ago, discovered 6 months ago. Okay, done because I feel like I'll ramble on forever if I don't stop. Update. Wife contacted affair partner again. Please give me all the divorce advice you can. Trying to search through here is fine, but it would be nice to have a single thread I can just pull up and take no from. There's just too much that comes up in any blanket search. Situation. I betrayed husband to 35 and finally putting down my retainer with the attorney. I've received hard proof she recently tried to contact the affair partner a few times. Cheating wife 34 has no idea I'm doing this. Honestly, I don't think she really believes I'm capable of it, but I'm ready to go scorched earth as much as possible as far as finances and custody. The first thing I'm doing on the advice of my attorney is splitting the joint accounts in half to the penny and opening a separate account in my name only. Wife currently has no job, though she's been looking really hard for one. I own a business and am already making the move to start doing the majority of my work from home as my responsibilities do allow for that. With only 1 day a week in my shop. We have one child that attends school and one that is homeschooled. Our youngest isn't old enough for school yet. Working from home would allow me to do the homeschooling as well as my work with zero difficulties. Questions? 1. Wife has claimed that if we ever divorced, she has no interest in going after my business because she doesn't want to mess up the kids' future inheritance. What's the best way to get this in writing so it's 6 in court? Next question. Obviously, as the dad man, I'm typically at an automatic disadvantage. What have your father's husbands done that has helped you retain the most assets while still making sure the kids are taken care of fairly? Next one. I wish there was a way to get full custody just because the feeling that she doesn't deserve them after all she's done to wreck our marriage. That being said, what are the best strategies you have found to ensure you have the most access to your children post-divorce? Is there really a difference between shared parenting and shared custody? Last question. What little details do you wish you had known before you went through a divorce? Either in general or as a man-father specifically. I'll divulge that I'm located in Ohio in the U.S. So if anyone has any pertinent advice for my state, that would be awesome. I need practical advice on gaining the most out of custody and assets. I don't want to destroy her or even be contentious if I don't have to. Just want to make sure I get the best outcome for myself and my children. Okay, time for comments. But before we do, there's one thing the op forgot to add. I forgot to add. I discovered her infidelity about 7 months ago and have been holding out some little hope for reconciliation. I set clear boundaries that if she ever contacted the other guy again, it would be automatic divorce. She made these contact attempts almost 2 months ago and has concealed it. The other guy, former best friend, sent me screenshots of his phone record, showing her number, not just her name. He tried to tell me she was harassing him, but I didn't give an F. She attempted contact, period. It's over. Okay. Comment from Tacho Dessard. My thoughts on divorce, accept the realities. Most likely the finances will be split 50-50. Don't spend money on trying to keep it. Just wait on the potential increase in earnings after the divorce. Don't make decisions out of anger, a sense of justice, or vengeance. You need to be cold and calculating in this operation. Make your priority list of wants. Then make sure you get the top ones and give them at the bottom of the list. Listen to your lawyer on every issue and do what he or she says. Custody should be shared 50-50. In this arrangement, you are more involved and there will be less child support, not guaranteed. My ex-wife quickly moved away with the kids so I could not gain 50-50 custody. So be prepared for that tactic. Keep the kids out of it. Even if your soon-to-be ex-wife tries to use them. It will turn your stomach to see her do it, but the kids will remember who was kind and supportive of them and who used them. If you have a mediated or non-contested divorce, it will be cheaper. If you go to trial, it will be more expensive. Judges most likely try to split trials 50-50 of the contested issues. So if you give more in mediation, you'll have a split of what's left down the middle. There is no winning in the court. The winning is cutting her out of your life. Neil Joe goes like this. Why are divorces so expensive? Because they are worth it. You will understand how true that is. Every hill you decide to die on will have a cost. Make sure you clearly understand that cost so you can make a clear cost versus reward decision. And lastly, listen to your lawyer on everything. Next comment comes from Keller Kamadas. Checked online. Ohio is mixed. You file at fault or no fault during divorce. Normally, this is done for child custody concerns. Historically, division of assets is normally fair at 50-50. It would be best that your soon-to-be ex-wife has to agree on certain conditions and division of assets and custody to ensure a smooth-sailing divorce. No need for at fault in this situation. This is just a sample of what I read when checking on the status of divorce in your state. Good luck. Next comment coming from Golfine. 100. Your health and well-being are your biggest asset. It may not seem like it while you cut the check for half of your business, but it's critical. Talk to a therapist and bounce your ideas around. Get in the best shape of your life. It's like a transformation into the new man you're going to become and the new challenges you will face. You will be made out to be the bad guy no matter what. Accepting it by not letting others' opinions of you drag you down is key. Mental fortitude is the biggest advantage you have. Financially, you want to be very shrewd. Look at the situation and understand the numbers like taxes and penalties. Not all of this money is equal when considering taxes. I kept my cool for the most part and was able to keep divorce costs under $10,000, ended an immediate agreement, which follows the law and didn't destroy me. An example of the negotiations that I carefully planned was, okay. We split the stocks, but I set aside the first 15% for long-term and cap gains. Taxes mediator agreed. Another one is no alimony. The statute is vague, although there are guidelines that had me looking at as much as 5 years. I successfully argued that considering the asset split, there's no need for alimony. There were a few other concessions that I received that a judge may not have granted or would have huge legal bills attached. All in all, the advice is to tackle your health, relationship problems, and divorce details as separate issues that need time and attention. It's a tall order and it's a journey, but it eventually ends. Good luck. Final comment coming from Lost and Alone Ta. Lawyers don't care about you and love a fight as it's more money for them. My dad was a business owner, and my mom's lawyer was a psycho. When my mom got awarded family assets in the split, she had to sell them to pay the lawyer. As painful as everything is, kids pick up on things and try not to involve them in the details. I hope your wife will be amicable for your children's sake.